There's so much buzz around rugby at the moment, mainly because of Six Nations, partly because of Resummit, but also because of this Netflix documentary. I'm on the first 2 episodes and definitely recommend to check it out. Obviously, it's just going to help boost the game, and that's what we're trying to do at this channel as well. Boost fantasy rugby and get more players playing, and I think we've built a pretty good community at the moment, over 3,000, so congrats to you all. In this video, we'll be looking at the best cheap players to pick from fantasy this year in each position. So let me know if I've missed anyone or whether you agree or disagree with my picks. But let's get into it. So up first, I have gone with the New England captain, Jamie George. And you might be thinking, how is this the best cheap players? Well, Dan Sheehan is 17 stars in the game, and that's the most expensive hooker. And Jamie George is coming in at 12 stars. So even though he's still relatively expensive compared to like Lucchese at 8 stars, I still think for the value that you're getting for an England captain who's going to play probably most likely 70-75 minutes every game, I think it's a really, really good shout. Luke Cowan-Dickie is also 12 stars, who might be on the bench, but also might be Theo Dan, right? So I just think for the value that Jamie George is at, I think he's a shoe-on for your team especially. But obviously we know what Dan Sheehan can do and what Mal Vaca has done to teams in the Six Nations in the past. So value of money, I think George is your man. Next up at prop is Cory Douglas. So reason why I've gone with him, props don't seem to get too much value for points anyway, and to be honest, Cory Douglas looks like he's the lead runner for that Welsh prop position. Gareth Thomas is also 9 stars, which I think he's pretty much nailed on for Wales. Cory Douglas maybe less so, but I think those two will start for Wales. Reason why I've gone with Douglas, he's 8 stars, but Gareth Thomas is also a pretty decent option too. If we look at the most expensive props in the game, we've got Ellis Genge and Cyril Bai, who we know are going to get through lots of carrying, but they're 15 and 14 stars, and you might want to place your budget elsewhere. So Domachowski, I think, is pretty nailed on, but we'll have to wait and see for the lineups. In the second row, I have gone with the Toulouse star and new French cap in Miafu. There are obviously a lot of decent options. Tyke Byrne is probably the best option in fantasy, but he's 16 stars, so that is a hefty budget, especially on a second row. But looking at a direct comparison with other French second rows, we've got Taoufik Vanua, who is 15 or 16 stars, I think, and Miafu, who is 8 stars. So that's literally half of his budget, and I'm pretty sure Miafu is going to start. He's yet to be capped, I'm pretty sure, but is absolutely wrecking it for Toulouse at the moment. He's someone the French coaching staff really wanted in and to get capped, and I think he's going to provide, well, not only ball carrying, but especially for those mauls that France like to play, I think he's going to be key for them as well. In the back row, I have gone with 2 people, and that's Aaron Wainwright and Rory Darge. So, looking at most expensive, we've got Ben Earl, Caelan Doris, Aldreet, but we know they're going to rack up your points anyway. So I definitely have 2 of them at least, if not all 3 if your budget can put it in. However, Aaron Wainwright and Rory Darge are really cheap options. They're both 11 stars, so a really cheap option compared to the higher budgeted like Ben Earl or Aldreet, for example. And without Faletau, I think Wainwright is going to be the nailed on 8 for Wales. And similar, Rory Darge, he's just been named co-captain, so I do expect him to pip, well, Hamish Watson or Jamie Ritchie to that 7 or 6 jersey. I think he's going to be pretty important for Scotland as well going forward, so I think with these 2 you've got a pretty decent cheap options. Maybe wouldn't put both of them in, but would look at the fixtures, because there are so many, I guess, stronger fantasy picks, but these 2 are decent options nonetheless. Now, Scrum Half is an interesting pick because obviously we've not got Dupont, so that means in France's team at least, they're going to have to get some new blood in there. Therefore, I have gone with Nolan Le Garrec. He's 9 stars, which to me is absolutely insane. He's Racing's number 1 9 as well. Only problem I see with this, maybe Luku from Bordeaux is going to pip him because he has been understudy to Dupont. However, I do feel like Le Garrec plays similar to Dupont in the way he follows up with try assists and tries as well. So at 9 stars, I think he's an absolute bargain, especially when like Ali Price, Gibson Parker 15, 14 stars as well. We'll have to see who starts for France, but if they are to go on win the Grand Slam, then I think Le Garrec is going to be pretty important. At the 10 position, similar to Le Garrec, we've got Ireland's Jack Crowley. There's obviously no Sexton, so they're going to have to breed some new blood into that 10 position. And to be honest, I think Jack Crowley is probably the man to do it. Out of the 3 Irish fly half options, he is most expensive, just at 12 stars. But for what you get for that is Ireland's 10 and general. So I think, well, that alone is pretty amazing. Finn Russell, obviously people's go-to picks, but also Marcus Smith at 19 and 17 stars. If in the first game Jack Crowley cements himself in that France game, then I think he's a really decent option going forward. In the centre, I've gone with Mason Grady for Wales. So he's 9 stars, has been starting on the wing for Wales quite recently. Do I think he's going to pip Rio Dyer and Josh Adams to the wing? Probably not. However, if there is an injury, I think Mason Grady will be the first one there. He's also down as a centre, right? So we all know that centres on the wing tend to get a lot more points than actual centres, not in Bundyaki's case. However, I think if they are looking to breed new light into that Welsh team, I think Mason Grady is a really good option for 13. They've obviously got George North there at the moment, but getting on a bit. Is he going to make it to the next World Cup? Maybe not. So Mason Grady, I think, is a good option, but definitely have to check the team sheets. I don't think he's nailed on. And last pick, but definitely not least, is Jordan Lama. I think he's probably the best pick in this team, for cheap picks at least. He's 10 stars, and literally on the last page, when you scroll through the back 3, this is absolutely crazy to me, because with Mac Hansen not playing, I'm pretty sure Jordan Lama is the next step in for them. They've obviously got Calvin Nash as well. Jacob Stockdale's back in the team. However, Jordan Lama plays for Leinster, and he's been playing for Ireland for, goodness, definitely over 5 years. I think he's like a forgotten name, sort of. He's been performing for Leinster really, really well. We all know they're probably the best side or club side in the world right now. So I think his link up with James Lowe and Hugo Keenan is going to be pretty key. And at 10 stars, I honestly think he might be one to have all throughout, right? Ireland are going to score plenty of tries. James Lowe or Jordan Lama or Hugo Keenan or all 3. I think he could be a really decent option. So that is my top cheap picks per position. I appreciate for the back row I've done too, but I think they're both, well, obviously worth the same amount of budget, but I think can have such an impact for their teams respectively. Let me know what you think down in the comments and whether any of these are nailed on for you in the opening weekend or going forward for the rest of the tournament. Obviously, we've got not many player faces, so maybe that's a positive for best cheap players. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Always read them, as always, and reply. So leave a comment down below. And if you did enjoy the video, please subscribe, because there's going to be plenty more videos like this. And you don't want to miss that first team selection video. So I'll see you all in the next one.